Welcome to the Sunshine Junkie podcast. Part genius, part ridiculous, but all Florida. Now your hosts Chad Crawford and Katie Schroeder.
How you doing, Katie?
I'm good.
Good?
I'm good. Got my coffee. I see something over there.
It's back.
You brought the donut lid. We got chocolate today?
Got to kind of push it down on there. It's not quite sealed.
Well, usually you got steam coming up.
Yeah.
You've probably had it on there for a while.
I usually give it a test here.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's been on there a while.
That'll hold some liquid.
It's cooking. So at what point do you officially take a bite?
Well, when the coffee gets down to about right here, it's heated the donut to perfection, and then you flip it over, and you've got a really nice warm donut that has somewhat loosely served the purpose as a lid.
Okay, so you've obviously went to 7-Eleven. Great establishment.
Mm-hmm.
We do love it, especially when we're on the road filming.
Yeah, I love it.
Now, you never know when you're going to get that donut. Sometimes it's already warm. Most of the time it's not. So I do appreciate the warm coffee, maybe giving that donut a second life.
Yeah.
But has it ever already been warm and you put it on there and it's just completely fallen in?
No.
No.
Because you have to order the right size. This is a medium, and it fits the donut just right. A small is small, a large is large, but a medium is just right, and it wedges down in there just nice. This is actually patent pending. I'm working on a patent to try to see if I can't get these mass distributed donut lid. But yeah, there you go.
Now, you know me. I'm an iced coffee drinker.
Yes, you are.
After I had my second child, I completely stuck with iced coffee. I can't go back. It's cost me a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you with any kind of plastic or paper cup. You always have that kind of crunchy granola jar, handmade straw system over there. Which
I don't know what's happened to me.
Yeah,
it's just how I've now live.
Oh man. Well, I was I think I told you this earlier, but we just recently got a new dog. His name is Bogey, and he is a miniature Australian Shepherd.
Yes, I know Bogey.
He's my wife's dog, and this dog loves my wife, and they have a great relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Me, not so much.
Mm.
We have a contentious relationship. This dog chews everything that you hold dear and valuable. He knows what that is, and he seeks it out, and he destroys it.
Yes, I think I've seen the evidence of that in the office.
Yeah.
As there have been holes in things that you own.
I have lots of holy socks. He has destroyed so many things. And I took him to the vet a couple of days ago. He had just some stuff that we needed to have the doctor check out. And the doctor came in, and I feel really bad for asking these questions, but he keeps saying, well, we'd really like to do a test on this, and we'd like to send something out for analysis. And I'm like, okay, how much is that? And I feel like, I don't know, I feel bad for asking that question, but I want to know how much these things are. And then they never know. And, I think it's like a couple $100, but you know what? Let me go check. I'll be right back. And then so, he comes back. Yes, it's $350. And I'm like, is there a cheaper version? And at some point, this bill is building and building this back and forth of do you want the sirloin, or do you want the chicken?
Oh my God.
Which version of this test do you want? You want the one done by professionals, or you want the one done by students? This bill is getting high. At some point, I'm like, are we still talking about a dog here? This is getting crazy.
Well, it's I get emails from our pet hospital or whatever it is, Lily, and I get emails now almost daily that are you've got a coupon, come on in. And I'm just I'm not going to come in.
We'll find something.
We'll find something.
Yeah.
You get 15% off the next stool sample. And I'm I am not bringing that dog in unless she needs a shot or I'm running low on the meds, which sometimes I don't even think I'm like, Ricky, are you giving her heartworm medicine or something like that? All she does is stay in the yard and stay in the house. Like, we don't even take her to dog parks anymore because we got scared after like COVID from doing that. But
well, I just don't think they're used to people asking how much. And so it's always just like, oh, they don't hand me a menu like at a restaurant. It's just, she goes back in the back room and does some math and comes back with this arbitrary number. And I'm like, okay, nope, we're going to skip that. What else you got? And I just feel like, I kind of feel bad that I'm going back and forth on this, but just like, it's a dog. Like, I just need it to live. I need it to be somewhat healthy. Like, I don't need all the spinning rims, like, let's just get to what we need here.
The last time we took Lily to the vet, she like threw up a couple of times. Dogs throw up all the time. We took her to the vet.
Yeah.
They actually did print off this thing. They were like, this is what needs to happen. We need to run this test and we need to do this x-ray and we need to do this. I called Ricky. He said, you walk out that door right now. And I was like, but Lily, our poor little dog, what if? He's like, you walk out that door. You don't give them your credit card.
Yeah.
You walk out whatever service, what just happened, you obviously pay for that. You don't pay for anything extra. And of course, like, she didn't throw up at all and she's like totally fine. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
But I mean, you obviously have to like listen to them if like your dog's about to die, but I'm just like, it's stressful. But no, man.
It's a business.
I know.
It's a business. And they do quite well off of us, let me tell you.
20%.
Well, look, I'm real excited about the guests we're going to have come in today. He's way up in North Florida, and the idea that he would actually be in the studio is a real special treat.
So lucky.
I was first introduced to him. We were doing some research to try to find, we needed content for the channel. And I stumbled upon his show and I was like, all right, this is it. So different, lots of story, just real, just a lot of passion in the production. And as someone who's in production, you can tell when someone just takes their time.
And once we got him on the channel, I was like, I'm curious as to who this guy was. And of course, he has a huge social media following. And I started following him on Instagram. And he just has so much life and charisma and sayings. Like, I just have a fun time following him on Instagram now. So, and I'm not even a fisher person. So I just think he's I just think he's a fun person to follow. So
yeah. Not hard to look at, right?
Nope. Not at all.
Well, easy on the eyes. He's going to be here in a little bit. So I kind of want to finish his donut before he gets here.
You got another one over there. What you doing? Come on.
He's big into health. And I don't want this to I don't want him to see me eating these.
It's okay. I worked out today. Here, let me see if it fits. Here.
Oh, there you go. It's a little oversized. Yep. Your donut to lid circumference is all off there.
Need a new cup.
Yep.
Oh,
there you go.
It's genius. Tell me all the patents going when it's finished.
It's pending. Everything is pending with me.
Always
pending. Always be pending.
ABP.
Let's welcome Lionel James, a father, fisherman, fighter, foodie, and fitness fanatic.
Well, hello.
Welcome to the show.
I appreciate you having me. Appreciate you having me.
I mean, you barely fit in our little studio over there. I mean, you're a formidable specimen over there. We kind of tighten here, right?
Yeah, I work on it. I'm proud of it. All right. So,
I mean, we're excited to have you here. North Florida, we were expecting to have to Zoom you in, but here you are in studio here in Lake Mary. So thanks for making the trip.
That's no problem. I don't think it's the same experience if you have to do the interview from a screen. Like, it's different.
Yeah.
So I think good business is also be there. Yeah.
Face to face.
Absolutely.
Eye to eye.
Right.
I can't see your eyes right now.
Okay. I can take them off.
Wait, let me just try these on. See what we're dealing with here. I want to see if I can.
Listen, those aren't expensive. Those are straight from Shell gas station.
Hey.
All right.
He loves
I love a cheap sunglass.
Yeah.
All right, let me see.
See, it totally changes your atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
With the gray hair.
Nice.
Just instant badass or
That's
what?
right. Like a, what's
Those are
that?
nice.
George Clooney look?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I like it.
Okay. I'll borrow these just for
got it covered.
if you don't mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of stumbled upon you looking for great content for our channel. You had already had, I think you were in your second season. And were your second season or what are you in now?
I'm still in my first season. So I'm getting ready to start recording my second season.
Okay.
But as you talk about that, I feel like people or fishing shows don't take enough time to actively promote each season. Like it's one season done, let's get on to the next one. Go to the next one. So for what I wanted to do is really put out good quality storytelling and let people get hooked onto that first, no pun intended.
Yeah.
And then go on to the next one so that they have a feel for it, So I'm done with season 1, that's out, and I'll probably start working on season 2 here. And I kind of look at it like a movie, or not a movie, but an album getting released. Like artists put out albums every so often, because they have to go through something to talk about. Right? I don't really like. I go fishing and go back to the dock. Like that's all I got to talk about. So let's go do some life experiences.
Well, look, and I know from experience that first couple seasons, you pick that low hanging fruit, right? And as you progress, it gets a little more challenging to find those stories. To dig a little deeper. It's another level. You kind of have to keep pushing yourself, looking for that next thing that's going to entertain the audience.
Right. I'm trying to find what the next story is. And I think I have the next 5 stories. Right now I'm getting for a bodybuilding show. So I want to show the experience of that in the next season. I haven't officially retired. I haven't rung the retirement bell to fighting. So I kind of wanted, I do want to show that process of getting ready for one and then walking out the door on my own terms. And that's captured, So I think those are the next 2 stories. But to do that, the focus on the food, the healthiness and all that stuff, getting ready for that.
So that's 4 F's. So when initially I'm like, this guy's fishing and fitness,
Food and fighting.
Fitness, fishing, food, and fighting.
Exactly. Well, the food is the priority. I stay in shape so that I can eat. But I think a lot of
that's true. That's me too.
I think a lot of people don't know that side of me, because when I was getting ready for my last fight, which was probably 8 or 9 years ago, I tore my ACL and patella tendon, so I never got to finish it. And that was going to be a championship fight for the record, not the record, but the.
And this is UCF fighting, right?
Yeah, UFC.
UFC. Sorry.
And I was like, and UFC, to get to the UFC, it's just like the Major League Baseball leagues. There's a lot of small AAA places that you have to fight in, back bars, and I was. One of the promotions was in Biloxi, and I was getting ready for that fight, and I tore my patella tendon. And so from there, it was a hard recovery, because then life happens, work, family, kids, marriage, all that stuff that you go through. And next thing you know, it's 9 years later, your body changes, and to get back on the grind of fighting and being in the gym every day is a hard process. So. It's something that I really want to do, but it's really got to make sense. So right now we're going to do the bodybuilding, getting prepared for that, show the people what that is and how I've gotten ready for that. Because it's not your typical, for the most part, 70% has been in the gym. Yeah. But the other part of it is being able to flex. So I've done Pilates, I've done yoga, through all this stuff. So showing just different parts of that.
When I first introduced my wife to your show, first of all, she loved it very much. And she thought you were in very great shape.
She liked looking at him.
That's enough. All right, that's enough. This guy's got an all right show. It's all right. Yeah.
All right. I'll take that.
But, I think for someone like my wife who maybe isn't so into fishing, but is into fitness, and I know Katie's into fitness, I mean, you're taking those two worlds and bringing them together. In my mind, I was ready to see like a treadmill on the front of the boat that was power, control, and motor or something. And I was looking for that kind of integration.
Okay.
But it's not quite like that, right?
No. I mean, we can make it that. Yeah, we can make it that. No, I think just kind of showing the beginning of my routine every day. Yeah. Because I don't think people really understand when you're out on the boat in the sun every day, like you're still exerting a lot of energy, like a lot. The sun's taking a lot from you. Yeah. Two, like the motion of the ocean. Yeah. Your body is constantly flexed, constantly. So that's why when you get off the boat, you're tired, not just the sun. So like if you're really... So this is where it kind of bugs me. If you're really out there doing 250 trips, because that's the guide number, like you have to take care of your body. If you're not doing that, let's say 10 years in or 5 years in, you're going to break down. And I'm seeing it now from the guys that I started with or the guys that have been ahead of me. Like there are some of the guys that are 20, 30, 20, let's say 10, 15 years ahead of me. They're starting to go back to take care of their bodies because they still want to do it for another 10 more years. Where when I get to that point, I'm okay.
Guiding is tough.
It's tough.
I mean, it is a grind. It is. I mean, people look at guides and think, "Oh man, that would be cool to go fishing every day." But man, it is hard.
It's hard
work.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot of mental stress because guides put so much on themselves to deliver fish, to have a good experience. I mean, that's how they're making their money. If you're not having a good time and they're not putting clients on fish, they're not going to get booked again. So it's mental, it's physical, it's a lot going on there. I mean, we've done a lot of fishing shows or a lot of shows with guides. And I know to tell my camera crew, dude, don't talk to this guy. don't ask him to do anything.
You're adding on the layer of production as well, because you're like, if you don't get a fish, you don't have a show. And so you know that, and we know that. And then you only have 10 hours in a day.
Yeah.
Right.
And that added pressure too, putting that on a guide. Good Lord, we have seen that.
I'll never forget one
Make
time.
people angry.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll never forget one time, Ben Metzger, our director, asked, the guy was doing something where he was kind of hung on a limb or something, and his rod was bent a little bit. And Ben's like, ooh, can you do that again? I want to simulate like you have a fish. And the guy was like, no, I'm not simulating anything until I actually have a fish.
Right.
You know, like I was like, Ben, let's just give him a little time.
And that's where I don't think they don't understand. Like, this is part of TV, you know? Like,
right.
This is like, some things are staged.
Oh yeah.
In terms of like, you have to go back. Like the catching the fish is not a staged part, but you have to go back and get the parts to set the story, because you're not going to sit there and record 40 hours of you maybe catching a fish.
Yeah.
Like, we'll turn the cameras back on and we'll set all that stuff up. But I understand it, because it's a lot of pressure. You put the fish, then you add the cameras, which most people aren't used to the cameras.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to get comfortable in front of the camera, and a lot of practice. So, yeah, I could see that.
Well, let's take it back a little bit.
Okay.
You know, where does this passion for fishing come from for you?
It's easy. My dad.
Your dad?
My dad and my granddad. So my dad got custody of me and my sister when I was 5 and my sister was 3. And so going through that with a single, my dad loved the outdoors. And at this point, we were in Melbourne. He was stationed at, I want to say it's under the Pineda Bridge or the
Causeway. Causeway.
The two bridges that go together.
What branch of the military?
He was in the Air Force.
Air Force.
Smart Force.
Maybe
throw that jab in there.
Easy now.
Let me throw that in there, because I'm an Air Force veteran too. All right. And he would take me out of school, and I love my father. So I was, to the hip with him.
Yeah.
And we would go fishing together, no matter where it was. It was on the beach, it was under the bridge, and catching redfish and all that stuff. So my dad really is an outdoorsman. And that just that's what we did as he moved from base to base. And as I got older, I figured out how to do it myself. And, this is kind of back in the day when you didn't have phones and stuff like that. So my dad... he's like, go outside. And my punishment was actually not to go fishing. If I ever got in trouble, it was to keep me inside.
Wow.
It would tear me up. Like, if I found out I was at school and my dad went fishing, I'd be upset. You know, so I was an outdoors kid from the start.
Yeah. My dad didn't say a lot. He was a very quiet man, but I learned a lot about life just watching him fish, watching him interact with other anglers, watching him, obey the laws. How he treated the environment, he didn't really have to say a lot to me.
Right.
I just kind of watched him.
Right.
And this is back in the day when, you went fishing with your dad, like you were in the boat. There was no snacks. There was no
and be quiet.
there was no iPad. There was nothing like, you're in the boat, sit down, shut up, and we're going to fish.
Right.
If you don't want to fish, stop making noise and get in the back of the boat so I can fish.
I think I was when my dad took me to the bridge because we could run around, we could play.
Well, yeah, that was nice.
Or even on the beach. And that was that's where I knew I'd always kind of stay in Florida. You know? But I've been to a lot of different places. From there, my dad was back and forth between Desert Storm, that whole conflict that was going on over there. Wow. So he asked to find some way where he didn't have to do that and he could stay around his kids. And the Air Force said yes, but you got to take the assignment to Anchorage, Alaska. And so we went to Alaska in November. We drove from Destin to Alaska. Never seen snow, but I mean, as a kid, I'm a 10-year-old kid. You know, it was a great experience. Never seen snow, never seen a moose, never seen that. And I finished out. So I call it Anchorage home because I did middle school and high school there, and all my friends are still there. The summertime I spent on rivers and lakes, surrounded by bears and moose, like that kind of.
You think about those two worlds, Florida and Alaska. I mean, two very wild places.
Oh my God.
You know, they both have animals that can eat you.
Yeah, for sure. That's true. That's true.
And for you to kind of be bathed in both of those worlds is pretty unique childhood experience.
I think so.
You know, so I love asking fishermen this, like, if you had to pick one bait and one bait only, what would it be?
It'd probably be some type of like paddle tail. Something like that. I don't have a specific brand. I'm actually thinking about even starting my own one day. But it'd be in that thing. I just love to fish, and the bait. It would probably be a paddle because I'm usually on my paddleboard. That's what I like to do. And it'd be something around that.
Just versatile, right? I mean, that kind of bait, you can really throw it at just about anything.
Right. So I would ask you this: if you could only pick one bait and to use to survive, to catch something to eat, what would you use?
A donkey dick.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I did not expect that.
What was that?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
So
Jesus.
My grandfather used to make plugs out of wood.
Okay.
And he used to make what looked like a devil's horse.
Okay.
Propeller in the front, propeller in the back. And when you pulled this thing into the water, I mean, it was like, I mean, a trail of bubbles behind it.
Okay.
Right? And it made the most insane noise. But he made them himself, and he called it a donkey dick.
Okay.
Oh boy.
And that plug catches.
How big was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Standard size, you know.
Good.
Standard. Yeah. Mine has been whittled down over the years.
Oh,
You know, 6 inches.
Yeah.
Standard.
Why do you call it a donkey dick? Because she's being funny.
Old man, and that's what you just did, and that got a lot of attention. And
Was it phallic?
No, it was just a lure. You know, it just went to the water in this really great way.
Okay.
And but I'm a top water guy. I love top water.
Mine's a slippery lizard.
Did you?
What the heck? Did you make that up?
You guys didn't ask me mine, so I'm just gonna tell you.
Wait, is that in your purse? Do you have it? I'd love to see a prototype.
I wonder. So what does it do in the water?
Yeah.
Does it make bubbles? Does it vibrate?
I don't think she's ready for that kind of question.
No. No.
It's not ready to be revealed.
Okay.
It's in development, man.
Okay. Slippery lizard.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, look, I know you have kids. You know, we all have kids. Good Lord. Do I have kids? You have 2 kids. I have 4 kids. How many kids do you got?
I only have one.
You only have one?
I have one. Yeah.
Wow. I can't
She's
believe we
2
let
years
you
old.
sit with us here.
Yeah, I know. She's 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but she's totally changed my life.
Yeah.
Totally changed my life.
Girls, dads, fishing, like, explain that to me.
I think it's kind of tough to like put that experience in words, because I haven't taken her fishing yet, but I've taken her on the water. She's right next to me in everything that I do. There's it's a different feeling about being a girl dad.
Yeah.
You know, you're protective. I think I don't know. I really can't explain it unless you are that kind of dad. You know, it's just different. You're a little bit more soft. You're soft. You're more sensitive. You're more in tune to like her feelings and like making sure. Whereas maybe if I had a boy, I might be a little bit more rugged and tough with him.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just, I don't know. It's just different.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think my experience too has been that those daughters want to be with their dads so bad. Mm-hmm. Doesn't really matter what you're doing. No. I mean, I just happen to be fishing, but I could be doing anything. They just want to be there so bad.
Right.
And the boys, they got to really love what you're doing.
I can see that.
There,
I can see that.
You know, and, you know, the girls just kind of don't care as long as we get to do it with dad.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's important too. Again, my dad was a single father. And like the relationship between father and daughter, now that I have a daughter, I could see where my dad was different with me and her, and how important their relationship later on in life is now, you know.
Kids.
They will change your life. You know, I'll tell you about the biggest change in having a child is I didn't realize how much time I was wasting not doing anything until I had a kid, right? Because like when she's up and moving, she doesn't stop. So when she's finally naps, so much has to get done. And so much does get done.
Yeah.
You know, versus when I was just kind of, I'll do it in an hour, you know. So that's been one of the biggest changes, you know.
Kind of dictates your life.
All the way through.
Yeah.
All the way through. Because they demand your attention all the time. So, yeah.
Yeah. And like for me now, my boys are so active. So I'm always like, what can I get done now when they're maybe not? Because my boys are attached at my hip. They are mama's boys.
Okay.
And I'm the doer. I'm always doing something. I'm outside with a project or doing something. And so they're like, what are you doing? What are you out there doing? And I'm just like, come on, let's go. Let's get dirty.
Yeah.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit.
Let's do it.
You know, you've got a fishing show. You have sponsors. You know, traditionally fishing shows, even the fishing industry is traditionally, you know, dominantly, you know, run by white males.
Okay.
It's very
Great.
white industry.
Yeah.
What's been your experience as a black man in this industry?
We can be totally transparent. It's been very hard.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning, you know, and I'm the kind of guy that's going to work for everybody's respect, but I still feel like, especially in the beginning, no matter how hard I worked, I wasn't going to be validated by the industry, especially where I'm at, right, located. Destin's a really big charter industry, and it started in that format. So there have been a lot of challenges. There's still a lot of challenges. I would say, you know, if you could ever do an episode where you're undercover on a man of color or woman of color's boat, where you can go and just kind of look around as they're going out of pass or they're there or wherever and see like the stares from the other guys that's been doing it for years, you know?
Yeah.
So with that, it's again, in the very beginning, it was challenging and it affected me a lot, you know? But now I'm like, I'm okay with not being validated by that.
Yeah.
Because I've surrounded myself with people. I've opened the doors for other people. And opening the door for the future.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I love social media. I love it for that reason.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, are you seeing more blacks in that fishing space? I mean, or is, I mean, what are you seeing?
I think so. I would say the short answer is yes, because of social media, things like Instagram, you're seeing people doing stuff.
Yeah.
But I still think it's going to be, you know, the younger generation has still got 10 years to go before they're able to buy their first boat, you know?
Yeah.
Think about when...
To be a consumer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Think about when like Instagram started, I think it was 2016, you know? So it's still 10 years old at the most.
Yeah.
So the young generation that I want to influence is they're not going to be starting their business maybe for another couple of years, let alone buying a boat. You know what I mean? So I think you'll start seeing more captains and more people doing it differently.
Yeah.
But yes, for sure, you're seeing more people on the water, and I credit that I credit all that to social media, because without that you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It's because they're in control of what they can put out, what content.
sure.
Like I can put out whatever I want.
Exactly.
They're in control of it. That's great.
Exactly.
Well, and there's an audience for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, huge. I mean, I think of like Hood Entertainment Fishing, like
yeah. I've
someone
done some stuff with him too. Yeah.
I mean, someone like him who is completely 100% different than anything that's out there.
He went from wherever he started at to where he's at now. And a big part of that is social media.
And he's such a nice guy.
Oh, he is. He's quiet. He's really quiet.
Yeah.
He's really quiet. And that's what I understand too. Like everybody, and this is what I wish kind of people would understand, is like, if you're on social, you've tapped into this other alter ego that you have to do and get to be in front of the camera. And that's, you know, he's done that.
Well, I want to go back really quick too, because I want to talk about, for the audience who's listening here, you know, Lionel makes a show, and the show is called Lion Tales.
Yep.
It's a half-hour formatted show. You did season 1. How many episodes in season 1?
It's only 6.
6 episodes. Yep. But the show just had style.
Thank you.
That was the first thing I noticed about it. You know, a lot of fishing shows are just fishing shows. You know, I know the format really well. But yours just had a certain style to it. Where did that come from?
I think I wanted the show to be who I am. Like embodies who I am.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't, and that's kind of go back to a few minutes where we were talking about like being myself and being validated. The show really is where I validated myself, right? Because I looked around the landscape and I tried fitting in with everybody. I grew out my hair. I tried being the guy that was on the dock all the time. And then no matter what I did, I still wasn't accepted.
Yeah.
You know, so I said, well, and this was the transition too, because before when I was fighting, I didn't care. Like, you know, I had the passion. I was there.
Yeah.
I was who I was, and like fighting accepted that. But that's where all that came from. I wanted to make a show that had hip hop music or hip hop vibe. I wanted to make a show that was about what I did, fishing and fitness, what the things that I love to do. So, and having the filming background, you know, I was able to like direct it a little bit. I want to be able to show what's in my head. So the camera guys that I work with, and it's Lateral Media, Cameron and Spencer. I call Spencer Bro Solo.
Yeah, they do a great job with the show, man.
I call it Spencer Bro Solo because like Star Wars thing. I love Star Wars. But we work together. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a guy that's not gonna like say my opinion. I have my vision, and I want it to look almost like and feel like a movie. So we've talked about it. We've storyboarded some of it. I have photos on my phone of the shots that I want to get.
That's crazy, dude. You storyboard
some of it.
His fishing shows.
Yeah.
I mean, I get not all of it, but the fact that you mentioned the word storyboard in the context of a fishing show is pretty shocking.
The next season, I want you to feel like it's a documentary, so like you can ultimately like I want to be able to make something I can present to Netflix, and they say, "Wow, I'll take it." Right. So the next season probably is going to be around 45 minutes an episode, but it has to be a beginning, like a storyline throughout each episode. But I want to get shots that, because you've been around fishing TV or just TV in general, there's some standard shots that you're going to get. With fishing TV, because most of the time the cameraman is on the boat, the shots are very static. There's no movement. And what makes a great film is camera movement. So I want to be able to like have a panning shot from another boat or the boat coming in as you're getting hooked up. Like that's the kind of film or documentaries I've studied and continue to study. Yeah.
Always got to have a second boat.
Always. Yeah. Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Boat.
Yeah.
So Lionel, what are some of your favorite shows?
The favorite episode is the last one. Is with my grandfather. And we did something extremely basic, but he loves to do. It's Steve's Fish Farm, and it's a stocked catfish farm. Yeah. Right. My grandfather loves it. Right. Loves it. But if you watch the episode, my grandfather is witty. He's a character. Yes, and he's not shy to say what's on his mind, you know? And so that was definitely my favorite episode because we got to tell a story that a lot of the stories that my grandfather told on that episode, I had no idea about. And that's what I really wanted to capture was like, before death is inevitable, like it's going to happen, you know, one day. And so before that happens to my grandfather, I wanted to be able to capture something with him. Because there was a period of time when my dad was traveling to the Gulf, like Gulf Storm, Iraqi 4, that we were staying with my grandparents. And that's what he would do. He'd take us fishing. But with that episode, I mean, you watched it. It was from the fish farm to my grandfather's stories. Like, it was really the best one I've ever done.
It's humble, like I mean, it just felt like warm porridge. I mean, it just felt like you wanted to be there on that bank with you guys and just absorb and hear those stories. You know, I think that's one of my biggest regret is not filming my grandfather. Yeah. Because he had so many great stories and he had such an influence on me. And I was just in awe of him. And I wish I had documented some of him.
I think there's no excuse these days, right? Even with your cell phone, to just do something with your grandparents, especially my grandfather's 82. So if we think about 80 years ago, let's just go 70 years ago when he's 10 years old and he can remember, like, what was that like back then? Yeah. And then he told a story about his mom and the stick. Like, my grandfather was attached to his mom, like your boys are to you. But his mom was murdered. Right? Wow. Yeah. So he said that in the episode. His mom passed away when he was young. He was murdered. Yeah. And so I never knew. I found that out for the first time. Wow. You know, my family doesn't talk about it. Yeah. All that stuff too. So all those stories I heard for the first time, the truck, there's a blue truck in episode 1, and you see me driving in episode 6. It was intentional. That truck, my grandmother bought that. That was her first truck she bought by herself in it's an 85 Scottsdale, and it's still in the family today.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a classic
It is.
truck, man. Yeah,
It is.
I did. When you just said that, I remember that vehicle being in the, and I was like, did you rent that? How did you get that?
Still in the family. So
Wow.
It's been in the family since 85. My dad bought it from my grandfather, so my dad has it now. And hopefully one day I could buy it from my dad, but it'll always remain in the family. And then the next season, we have a 87 Monte Carlo that my grandfather bought. It's got 30,000 miles. It's beautiful. 30,000 miles on it.
Wow.
That's it.
And yeah, that's it. He never drove. It was a Sunday driver, if that.
Yeah.
And my dad has it now. And hopefully, in the next season, I'll find some way to put it in there. But, what we did, culturally, is catfish was a big staple of our meals.
Yeah.
Whatever you're from in the South, it was a big staple, freshwater catfish. And I wanted to show that with my family. My grandmother, old soul, she cooked soul food for us all the time. Still to this day does that. So that's what I remember in the short period of time that I lived in Florida, and I was with my grandfather and my grandmother. And then when I moved back, that's, what we did. So yeah,
that was the thing. I remember, when I was a kid, my dad would go fishing at least 2, if not 3 times a week. He would come home from work around 3:34, and he would go fishing on the St. Johns River, and he would catch bass.
Okay.
And we would eat bass as a family at least 2 or 3 nights a week. It was kind of how he provided protein for our family. It was kind of what we did.
I'm glad you said that. This is like largemouth bass.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I want to talk about that in a second.
Largemouth bass. And so I grew up, with my mom frying fish. I just had some bass not too long ago. I hadn't had it in so long, and it just felt so nostalgic.
Right.
Or it just tasted so nostalgic. You taste something, you smell something that takes you back
Exactly
to your childhood. That fried fish, bass, did that for me. But, there is such a kind of a movement to catch and release. And, I don't catch and release unless I have to.
Right.
Unless the lawman tells me that I have to. Like, I was raised that, you fish, and if you can bring it home, you bring it home and you eat that sucker.
Right. And that's what I wanted to get to, is like the culture of bass fishing has got to a space where you're not supposed to keep them, or you're looked down upon if you keep a bass. But like, bass was a way of surviving. Like, it was what you ate, and I eat fish all the time. The only reason why I don't show me keeping it, and I don't keep most of the fish, is because I don't want to clean it when I'm done.
Yeah. You keep fish, you got to clean it.
Yeah. So I've cleaned enough fish in my lifetime that if I don't have to clean it, and if I could support like a local fish market, I'm going to go support the local fish market,
That is the only good thing about not catching fish for me, is not having to clean them.
Not having to clean it. So
The main question that I know you want to ask is how many fish can you bench press?
all of them. All of them. Right?
Ready for that.
All of them.
As a woman in her 30s, we'll just
gave up
keep
your age.
saying, well, I don't care.
Mid-
I'm mid 30s.
Low 20s. High 20s.
I'm in my mid 30s.
Okay.
That's even still a lie. Like, I want to show my boys what strength is. I want to be strong. I am going to go through menopause one day. We all know what that's going to be like. I need to eat protein. I am just trying to like go into life like having muscle and like not just like wilting away, you know, and just like having muscle.
I think it's important that you made that decision, and people make that decision whenever they can, as soon as they can.
Yeah.
Because once you stop, the body stops, right? Once you rest, the body rests, and it's hard to get it restarted. So you go into the next 10 years, you're already there. It's a proven fact. Science backs it up. The more active you are, however that is, weightlifting, walking, riding a bike, the longer you're going to live. 2, outdoors, walking, riding a bike, swimming, whatever it is a good stress reliever. It's one of the best. All right. The best. Vitamin D, being out in the sun is the biggest, like, stress reliever. All right. And then the gym for sure for me. So I know I still want to be, I'm an older father, right? I'm in my 40s. I know I want to be an older dad. So I want to be able to keep up with my daughter when she's 18 and she's playing sports and all that stuff. So yeah. It's good on you. You made that decision. Yeah.
And I just love like where I go now, like it's a place where you can bring your kids. And I just love that my boys like are seeing me work out. They are seeing me lift up these weights and just they're like, what did you do today? And I was like, I'm doing RDLs.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I went up from 30s to 35.
What kind of gym is it?
It's Burn Boot Camp.
Okay.
And like each one is different.
Right.
But like they're so good at like really pushing you. And you're like, you know, they have these little just like little, not promotion, but they're like, okay, we're going to start this new thing. It's in the middle of the year, but like, okay, we're going to start working on you lifting. Well, like, let's get you up to the next 5 pounds so that you can like just
I think that's important.
Lift more because it is like I'm learning more from social media from all these different people. And I only do it I try to go 4, but it's like 3 times a week.
I think
lift weights and it feels so good. I can feel the difference. I really can.
Let's see your muscles.
Let's see. My tight shirt. I wore my tight shirt.
Look at that.
You know, I think I love it. I love it. I love it.
Present muscular yet, but
yeah,
well.
But teach his own however they want to do it. I think, you know, these what if you get caught up in social media and following a fitness person, what you're going to get caught up in is seeing their post every day, their footage every day, even though they're not working out every day. And you don't have to work out every day, like 3 times a week, 4 times a week, whatever your nature is. As long as you're like getting outside and maybe going for a walk. Your kids seeing you that's important because you're laying the foundation right now instead of when they're 13 or 14 and they get into those angry teenage years where it's like you can't convince them to do anything, right? It's, you know, so that you're already laying the groundwork for them. And I think it's very important as a parent that you set the example. Yeah. Right. You can't be like, well, go to the gym or go do, like, they have to see you do it, you know?
Well, you know, and I'm kind of curious. I'd love to get your take on this, Lionel. Like some of my issues with a gym, especially when you're in a class and you're working out and you have somebody who's kind of training you. And I've had this experience several times where, you know, I'm doing my thing and this person is trying to motivate me by
yelling at you.
What's that?
Yelling at you?
No, but I wanted that.
Oh, you want that?
So they were like, oh, you're doing really good. I'm like, no, I'm not doing good. Like I suck over here. Like I can barely stand on this ball you have me on. You know, I'm juggling these, you know, dumbbells and you're telling me that I'm doing good. And like, I need you to tell me that I suck.
Right.
I need you to like, you know, berate me a little bit, give me something that motivates me. Yeah. And so I literally went up to this trainer. I was like, look, I appreciate you that you're saying that I'm doing good. I know that's what you're trying to do, but I need some like negative reinforcement. Right. You know, give me something I can back up against here. You can talk about my mom. You can talk about me. I'll give you a wide range of stuff you can go at, you know? Right. But like, you gotta poke me a little bit here.
I think with that, each trainer should understand who their client is and how to coach their client.
Well, I guess that's it.
Right. And that makes a good coach. That makes a good trainer, right?
I gave him permission to berate me a little bit and he did, but he just didn't know how to do it, man. He just didn't come out.
You know? Well, you don't know. Like the landscape of the world is really sensitive right now. So like you're playing it because if you're a trainer, you're making money off of that. So if you mess that up and it's like, well, and it's probably most of the part is getting referrals, you know? So he's worried about that referral, but I agree with you. So when I was fighting, I have 2 coaches. I have a very old school coach that like tells you suck. Yeah. Right. And then I had a coach that was like very nursing and like, oh, you're okay. Like, okay. Get up. Yeah. Right.
So you got a mom and a dad.
Yeah. And that was good because, you know, fighting is like, it's an up and down thing. Like your body hurts, your mind hurts. Like you're thinking about, once you sign the contract, like you're thinking about, man, somebody wants to destroy you. Like, and he thinks he can.
Well, because, you know, the trainer in my mind growing up was Mickey from Rocky.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's who I'm like, that's who I want.
Right.
I want this guy to, like, just be nasty and just tell me to stay away from women. And just like, you just like, you know, where's that that guy, you
Yeah,
know?
I think it's hard to find unless you're open with them about that, because everything is like, man, it's a space where a review can cancel a lot of money for you, right? So I think that's where people jump on Google. Like that's what you're worried about as a business owner.
Yeah.
Somebody jumping on Google, because with Google, you can't get a hold of nobody to take it down. Yeah. Like the person that left it. So I'm glad you told him, because now, I'm sure he'll talk about your mama or call you this and that, something to get you going.
I gave him a long list of things to go through.
If not, let me know like an hour before you go to the gym and I'll give you a good pep talk. All right, I'll say, all right.
Crawling out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
One of the first shows I watched, and this has been, when did you do your first season?
It's been about 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
When you caught a fish, you were saying, let's go. Yeah. And up until that time, I had not heard that.
Right.
But then
I appreciate that.
That I heard you saying it, and then I started hearing everybody say that.
Right.
And I'm like, did everybody get this from Lionel? Like, where did this come from? Like, where did that come from?
I don't think I'm the creator of Let's Go, but I definitely feel like
you had something to do with it.
I had something to do with it, right? Whether, because it's after I love to fish. Okay.
Yeah.
And I love to catch fish, and I get excited, and that I don't know where it came from. I just started saying it, and I was like, yo, this could catch on. And so I added a little spice to the end of it. And it's just something I would do every time, because what I did is I know that I tried to stop cussing. That was part of it. I didn't want cussing in my vocabulary anymore because of being online. You couldn't, you couldn't cuss. And at the time, YouTube really didn't like cuss words. And like now you can do it all the time, on the radio. So I was looking for something to
something PG.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that follow me are kids. And I was like, well, I want their parents to be okay with following me.
Yeah.
So, and my nephew follows me.
Yeah.
He's that's a big thing. So the Let's Go just started to just caught its own thing. And I'm not the creator of it, but I think, like I said, I had something to do. It's a big part of who I am, Well,
before you go, give us your best right now. Come on.
Well, it depends. Like if I end the video, I'm always like, let's go. But
you got a fish on right now.
It's like, yo, let's go. And then I always end everything. It's like I have this little quote. It's called, no matter what you're going through in life, remember this: stay solid to yourself, stay 100 in your heart, and even on your worst day, I promise you, everything will be all right. Let's go. And that means I think it's kind of self-explanatory. Just trust yourself and believe in yourself. It's a different way of saying believe in your dreams, your goals, and who you are. Because a lot of people will put you down. I'm sure when you started everything you started, there was not a lot of people that supported it.
Yeah.
Thought you were crazy. And look where you're at now.
I love that.
Yeah.
We got a little moved over here.
Tingle.
Let me ask you this: you've done a lot of TV. What's one TV show or episode that you remember and you always remember that you've done?
I mean, there's been shows where I almost died.
Okay.
So those are come to the forefront, but those are just things that I did because I was stupid or kind of too ignorant to know the danger that I was in when I was doing it. Being on camera will make you dumb, will make you do dumb things for the camera.
Right.
You see that in social media a lot now, people just doing dumb things
for clicks and likes.
For likes. And that applies to television too. I mean, I think some of the more significant shows for me were shows when I had my young kids on, early on, How to Do Florida, seasons 2, season 3, season 4, when the kids would do whatever I asked them to do. I would grab one of them's arm and say, we're going to work today. And they're like, what we're doing? We're going down the Swanee River and we're going camping. Here's your lines, memorize these. And they're like, okay. They're getting a little older, a little harder to get them to do that. But back then, those were and I look back on those shows and have that documented now, and it's just so precious.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
I mean, to have those memories with my kids, and filming with kids is tough. getting them to do what you need them to do is
Mhm.
tough. You know, when your daughter's 2, she gets a little older. You know, if you're still doing this, it'd be good to have her on the show, but it's going to be a different show. It's a different pace. It's a different feel, but man, it's so worth it.
Yeah. I definitely want to have my daughter on there. For that reason.
Yeah.
Right. For when I get old and then maybe senile and start to forget things or even, like I said, I'm very comfortable with that. I know and that's why I live my life every day. Right. So if anything was to happen at a young age, she can go look at her dad. You know, she can go watch it. I think that's the biggest part of that. I do want to ask you this, I think in pro sports, because Katie, you said this, a professional fisherman. I don't consider myself a professional fisherman. You know, I just enjoy what I do and want to do it at a high level. But what is the pinnacle of fishing? Because let's say the NBA, NHL, I said NHL, hockey, not tennis, any of those professional sports, they have the pinnacle, and that's championships and that's rings. But what is it for fishing? Because fishing has so many chapters in it. Your guide, there's freshwater fishing, saltwater fishing, there's fly fishing, there's tournament fishing, there's offshore fishing. And that's when I made the shift, was trying to figure out what's my pinnacle. Because you can't measure it in championships. Yeah. And so that's why I started Lines of Service. Yeah. Right. Because there is no, let's say for the guide world, it's 250 trips. When I did that, I was like, this ain't a championship. This don't feel good at all.
It was like a battle.
Yeah, that's what I feel like every day.
Torture.
That you're not winning.
Right. So I asked every guy that hopefully listens to this, what is the pinnacle? Because if you're doing it for the staple of 250 trips, you're going to kill yourself. Yeah. And you're not going to spend any time with your family during the summertime, which is.
I think the pinnacle for me is to be able to pass fishing on to my kids where, because I went through a period where I was trying to force it on them. And I think I probably made them feel guilty for not liking fishing how I thought they should like it.
That's a big answer, man. That's true.
And I would put a lot of pressure on them. And, and I think when you get older, you tend to romanticize your childhood. Mm-hmm. And, try to make those comparisons to your kids, and you can't do that. And I think it took me a while to realize that I can't do that. And I was forcing something on them and putting pressure, not only pressure, but guilt. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, making them feel guilty for not wanting to go fishing. And it took me a while to not only see that, but to back off and just kind of let it go. And that was tough. That was really tough because I had all these visions of my kids fishing and wanting to fish just like I wanted to with my dad. And it just wasn't the same. And it took me a while to reconcile with that and be okay with that. And now I'm in a much better place with the kids. And we do have more experiences fishing. And they can feel that kind of that release of that pressure. But I'm a group with a lot of dads, and that's what we talk about, is that romanticizing of our childhood and putting that on our kids and expecting the same experiences, the same as we did.
They are living in a completely different world than you were living in.
Yeah.
And so it's a completely different childhood. So that's understandable.
That's why
and you're realizing that is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm realizing that. And I think for me, to answer your question, the pinnacle is to not ruin fishing for my kids.
Yeah. To
not be such a force that I'm driving them away from doing something that has meant so much to me.
Right.
I've
asked a lot of people that. That's by far the best answer I've ever gotten. Yeah. Because most of them are, to win this and to win that. And it's okay, that is the best answer I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've thought a lot about it, and I've,
That's it.
How do I get these kids?
And for me, I know that you have, because all I see are pictures of Kendall going fishing out with you on the weekend. Mm-hmm. And there's pictures of your kids going hunting with you in Louisiana or wherever you guys are going. So it's you have achieved that. Right now, your kids are teenagers.
Yeah.
And they're going with you. You're
Right.
not forcing them. They want to go.
If you can get them to go as teenagers, you won.
Well,
Yeah.
I remember.
Well, he's got 4 of them.
Okay.
A couple of them are doing it. So
Okay, all right. You
50%.
win. Right? 50% is a Hall of Fame average in baseball. Okay. Okay.
Well,
That's good.
I remember being so. I wouldn't ask them to go because I didn't want to know the answer. I couldn't handle the answer.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle a no,
Okay.
and it took me a while to be okay with a no.
Mm-hmm.
But now my kids know that my kid can have all Fs and he could be on restriction, on lockdown. But they know they can come and, hey, Dad, we want to go fishing. Just go.
Go.
You know, they know that
Yeah.
they can do. It doesn't matter the situation. I will let them go fishing.
Okay.
You know?
That's awesome.
But
That's awesome. Well, and that
yeah.
was the best answer I've ever gotten.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, Lionel, when you think about your legacy, what do you think about?
I think there's a lot behind that. I want to leave something behind that my daughter can carry on if she chooses to, and do something that inspires our youth, and really inspires our youth to go after what they want.
Yeah.
Right. Because being a man of color in a fishing industry it's dominated by, it's dominated by who it's dominated by. It's really hard, and to show people that you can do that, and you don't have to change who you are.
Yeah.
A big part of it too is in season 1, I think it was episode 5 where I took Fallon fishing.
Mm.
It was a lady in fitness, and I want to highlight fishing for the women in a way that is influential.
As a Black man in this space, I mean, do you feel the pressure and the weight of
Doing things right all the time?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't make a mistake. It's always been that way. With social, you man, I can tell you a couple of stories where I got ridiculed, in the beginning of it for lifting a tarpon out the wrong way. I was excited. I didn't know the rules at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and the rules of tarpon is very gray. And I'll say, like, I lifted it out too far in the water to take a picture with my client. But I mean, I got bashed.
Yeah.
I still have all the screenshots of everything. It's
a tough crowd.
It is. And that's what I'm talking about, because if you think about it, we're talking about that fish. I don't know. How many tarpon guys do you know right now that are men of color?
None.
Exactly.
I don't know any.
I'm the only one in Destin that does tarpon.
Yeah.
That's of color.
Yeah.
The only one.
Yeah.
Right. So when that happened, I was like, man, that was almost like I almost stopped social media.
Wow.
Because it went on for almost a week.
Wow.
Right. And this was 2020, right? When this happened.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's another thing that I want to change, and to be honest, that market is advertised like that, through, I think they're trying to change it, and I'm not going to call out any brands, but if you look at cooler brands or that side of fishing, it's a very rugged, tough thing. And I'm like, man, people eat this fish in other countries.
Yeah. Heck yeah,
they
buddy.
survive off of it like largemouth bass.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's where I want to show people, like, when you step into this world, you're going to endure a lot of pain before you get to success.
Yeah.
Right.
I think about that sometimes. I had somebody a couple of weeks ago ask me about failure, and, you hear that term a lot, that, in order to succeed, you have to fail, and failing is a part of success. And I really don't see it that way.
I don't either.
I see failure as a form of success,
Mm-hmm.
and there is no failure.
Mm-hmm.
There's just,
the only failure
you're doing it, and you're going to be successful or less successful. But the fact that you're doing something is successful in the fact that you're doing something, and, you're going to learn along the way. But I can't ever look back at anything I've ever done and call it a failure.
I think the only failure is if you quit, like if you stop. Shit, for real.
Yeah.
Like, that's failing.
Yeah.
Right. Because to piggyback on what you said, it's not a failure. It's just a minor setback.
Yeah.
Right. And then you figure out, like, even with what you got going on right now, you could call that a failure today, but it's not. You're going to figure out what's going on, fix the problem, go back. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Kick in the teeth. Well, before you leave, we do have a gift for you,
Okay.
and I'm going to pause
gift-
here really quick here. Katie got it. She wanted to get you a gift here, but you stay right there. So before you leave, you can hand this to me. No. Before you leave, Lana, we have a gift here for you.
Okay.
Everybody who comes to the studio here gets special gifts. So we got you a gift here. And Katie said this size would fit you. So we'd love just to try this on, right here.
Okay.
And we'd love to make sure we got, is the camera wide enough? Yeah, we can get wide enough here. Don't look at the size.
Okay. You want me to put this on right now?
Yes, I want you to put that on right now.
Okay.
There we go. It's a stretchy small. Gosh, look at those guns, Katie.
Oh, yeah,
look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
It fits perfectly.
You look like an action figure.
I'll
telling
take
you.
I'll take it. You know?
The next Marvel superhero right
That's
here.
right. That's right. I appreciate that.
That looks just like when I put the shirt on, it looks very similar.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, if you add the glasses too, it'll look fantastic.
Discover Florida Channel has never looked so cool. Yeah.
Well, there's one thing that I want to say because, I don't fish.
Mm-hmm.
But like when it comes to this notion of something that you pass down, I don't really have something like that. And when I hear you guys talking about it, it is very romantic and it is something really cool. But, I don't have that, but I do get this sense of like just being a parent and like passing stuff down to your kids. And I do feel like I'm getting that sense of it, especially when it comes to the outdoors and living here in Florida. And then just like giving that to my kids, like showing them the options that you have.
Right.
Even if it's in the backyard.
Right.
Like even with that, with like plants and landscaping and like all this stuff. Because we know how hard that is with technology and our kids getting sucked into phones and stuff like that. We know how important it is for them to not have that.
I think you made the how do I say this? Just being the example to that, you're gonna hand it down to them.
Right.
You're doing it first. You know what I mean? And they're gonna get to see you work out. They're gonna get to see you do cool things, right? Because as a parent, your kids looking up to you doing cool things. They're going to remember that and they're going to want to do it with their kids and as they get older too. So that's pretty dope.
Yeah. And anyone listening to this that feels like they don't have something like that, they don't have this tangible thing of fishing or something like that to pass down, which for me, it sounds really cool. And you're like, God, I don't have something like that. You do. You can have something like that. And you might not even know it, but there is something that you have that you can pass down, and you can even find it.
Right.
Outdoors in a family is this culture of outdoors, and that just doesn't happen. It takes time. It takes one person. It takes multiple people who have a vision for that, who begin to instill that in your family. And I think that's kind of what you're doing now, bringing that culture of outdoors, whatever that is, as a part of the family. And your kids will pick up on pieces of that and give their version of it, when they grow up and have kids. And that was given to me as a child. And it was one of the greatest gifts my parents gave to me was this culture of outdoors and the freedom to be outside. I think that's the big thing now with raising kids in this world is being in a place where you can give them the freedom to be outside, because a lot of parents don't want their kids to have, they're just afraid. They're afraid. Somebody's going to get them. The boogeyman's going to snatch them. Right. Something's going to happen to my kids. So I'm going to keep them close.
But all these problems that parents are afraid of, we still had these problems back in the day. It just wasn't advertised as much. Yeah.
Well, look, statistically, our kids were safer 30 years ago than they are today. I mean, that's just a known fact. Okay. Our kids were safer. So, with our 24-hour news cycle and social media, it doesn't feel that way, but that is the reality of it. Okay. But as parents, and that's just something that is every parent is different in how they parent. Every parent has a different size leash. So, but, I think, I don't know, I've seen you do with your kids, like, you were talking about seeing Jack climbing a tree. I mean, there's something about kids don't climb trees now. Yeah. And to see your kid climbing a tree today is pretty dang cool.
And to let them get up high and maybe they fall.
Yeah.
And it's going to be okay.
Right? I bet it was a heart attack too, right?
He was 20 feet up in the air.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, maybe he'll break his arm. And guess what? Kids break their arm.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, they
It's
do.
gonna be okay. Might be a good thing for him. Maybe he can't play as many video games.
Oh man. Before you go one time, let me see those pythons there.
Oh,
give
no
us
problem.
give us the best. There we go. Wow.
Right.
There it is. You can have that shirt now that you've stretched it out.
Sunshine Junkie is a production of Crawford Entertainment.